Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you all. Good to see that things are working okay in the data world. Great. Uh, Probably, maybe my last video to you. Oh, well, I guess you'll have to come work for me in the Department of Health if you want to do more fun data things with Dennis. But otherwise, I'll just see you around the traps. What are we talking about in the last video? The final exam. Ha! That thing that strikes terror in the hearts of students everywhere. Uh, well, this one should be okay because you've already done two big assignments. Half of your final mark is in the bag already, and all you have to do is do a little bit of stuff with database theory and a little bit of stuff with spreadsheets. So you can see that I have not changed much in the past 7 years. I have the same kind of thing on the final exam. I'm getting good at it. You'll notice that in 2013, it was a bit rough, but now we're up into 2017, 2018, much more straightforward. Yeah. So what's it about? There's two parts to the final exam. The first part is 50% the database theory. So half of the exam, 1 hour of your time should be spent on database theory. That is answering questions about databases. And, what have we learned about databases so far? We learned how to query databases and learned how to make databases. Now, which one of those was the most complicated? Definitely the making databases part. If you can make databases, you're probably okay at querying. So we don't spend a lot of time talking about querying. The most of the thing we talk about is making databases. So you'll notice in all these Word documents, there's lots of examples, questions about how to make databases. Oh, there'll be like a little scenario. It'll say, hey, there's a doctor and a patient, and what's the relationship between doctor and patients? And you got to come up with an ER diagram. You got to design a database. You need the fields and the rules and all that stuff about databases. The thing you're doing right now, in fact, in your assignment is making databases. We make you apply that to another context, to another database. Um, the second part of the exam is Excel. Excel. We haven't queried that at all yet. We haven't even talked about that, but that's coming up in the last 3 weeks of the of the course. The last 3 weeks, you should be working on your Excel skills. Really, you should be working on your Excel skills always because it's a tool that just everybody uses all the time, and it's rows and columns, which is just like databases. So we try to teach you how to use Excel as a database, and then in the exam, we give you Excel data that's shaped like databases and make you do things in Excel with it. It's all a little harder. It's a little harder to do error checking. It's a little harder to do summarization. It's a little harder. It's much harder to do linking, but you have to know how to do it in Excel. And there's definitely going to be some examples. Link the patient ID from one data table in Excel to another table in Excel. In Access, you just drag it across patient ID to patient ID. Bingo, it's done. In Excel, you got to type in this big, long, complicated formula, VLOOKUP, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, you learn about all that, but that's what's going to be on the exam. So there's two main parts of the exam. The exam is database theory questions and Excel practical questions. And the Excel practical questions, I don't ask you how to do it. I say do it. Here's an Excel spreadsheet, and you have to do things with the Excel spreadsheet. The exam this year is online. As usual, we're going to give you this content. We're going to open up something like this that's hidden from students. There'll be questions and the exam workbook, Excel workbook, probably a couple workbooks because Excel is big and we've got lots to do with it. A couple workbooks, and you'll have to use those worksheets. You'll have to fill in those. You'll read the questions. You'll open up the questions in a Word doc, and you'll put your answers to the database part in the Word doc, and you'll put your answers to the Excel part in the actual workbook. So you'll actually open the workbook up, type out stuff. You'll say, "Oh," and that's if you want samples of what that is. You go look at last year. Look at the years before, and you'll see questions, spreadsheet. Oh, we had 3 spreadsheets in 2013. Questions, spreadsheet, questions, spreadsheet, questions, spreadsheet, questions, spreadsheet. So answer the questions, fill in the data in the spreadsheets, and you're done. So you're going to do all that at home in front of your computer. So it's good. You probably have an advantage if you have 2 screens. So it's good if you have 2 screens. If you don't, well, you just have to take a little longer, a little more tabbing back and forth between the 2 different things. You have access to Google. Hopefully, you don't have access to your colleagues. You will vow on your heart that you're not gonna get your Excel friend to sit beside you when you do the Excel exam. But if you have an Excel friend, really, you're lucky, and you should keep a hold of that Excel friend because they will serve you well in the future. You can be practicing that asking questions skill. Um, yeah, don't do that. And yeah. Oh yes, the final thing is that because it's online this year, everybody gets their own Excel sheet. Isn't that good? We're gonna make up really 100 different Excel sheets, and then you're going to click on a little button here, and it's going to give you it'll be set up like a quiz, and you'll go into the quiz, and the quiz will give you one random question, and the random question will be an Excel sheet, and you download that Excel sheet, which is just specifically for you. It won't have your name on it, but it'll have random data in it. And then so you can't just if you're a really good Excel, you can't just send it to your friend and say, hey, let's work together on this one. You got to work separately, do your own work. And yeah, and after, so I don't quite know the date of it yet. It's going to be toward the end of the exam period. You're going to uh, yeah, it's going to be toward the end of the exam period. You're going to get the questions in the morning, and probably about 4 hours later, you're going to have to submit them. So I would definitely set aside a block of time for that 4 hours. Do not do anything else during that 4 hours. You'll be busy. Uh, yeah, hopefully your computer will work. The internet will be fine. If not, we'll work something out. Yeah, if you have any questions about it, please ask on LMS. This is kind of a one-way communication venue, and it's good if we can chat a bit on that. Cool.